optic type of tube, and goes in. So we really minimize what batteries go in. Lithium ion puts off a lot of heat, the lithium ion batteries, so therefore we try to minimize that. The older standard C cells, D cells, they don't put off a lot of heat, so they can go in. We try to get people to take off their watches, or we recommend them take it off, because once you start pressurizing something, you have a chance of imploding or exploding their watch, because you got O-rings to keep water out and other things. It cheaps off parts every once in a while. When you'll take on gas and you start coming up, and then they'll shoot a little twister off it or something. So we don't. But now for the breathing stuff, if you guys want to step in just a second, and if you just watch your shoes, and wash your heads up. No, very unforgiving. The oxygen breathing. Now this is where we're going to narrow it down to. Our patient will come in. Let me grab my neck seal real quick. Are we going to sit out there?
Yep.
Because we don't want to fill the atmosphere or the chamber air with oxygen, 100% O2, while we're down there, we'll actually put this, and it's just a nice comfortable seal around someone's neck. So we'll slip that over their head and it's sealed around their neck. Then once that's on there, and it's nothing to it, it just sits there, then we'll set the hood on, and with an O-ring, it seals on. So now when I'm piping oxygen in here, it just is here, and the extra O2 and the exhaled gases just go out back through the piping and go up to the vents on the roof I showed you. And that's where it exhales out. Vice it going in the chamber at all. So just a nice little O-ring seal. The patient will sit here for 20 minutes, breathe the O2. We say off O2, we'll take them off, and we'll let them just breathe regular air for 5 minutes, and we'll go back on, and we'll do that through a protocol. And like I said, I'll show you a treatment table as we do. But this is called a built-in breathing system. We got a manifold here that takes 3 hood assemblies. We can hook up to it. Through our valves here, we'll control the oxygen as it comes in and how much by the flow meters. We put a humidifier in here. Oxygen's an excellent cleaner, as I mentioned. It'll also clean your lungs and dry them out and everything else. So we put a little bit of humidity in it, and it makes the comfort level. It keeps their lips moist and everything else. So it comes through here, then it comes in, and then it comes into the hood assembly, and it comes right back out the other side through our exhaust. If you pressurize it too much, it blows the hood off. If you don't pressurize it enough, it'll shrink it down, because the exhausting out of here, it's pressurized in here, so it's blowing air out. So you have to maintain that hood so that it stays puffed up on their head. So you actually are throttling it, which is very interesting, but you're throttling it with the amount of gas coming into the amount going out, so that it maintains just a nice comfortable pressure. This just sits here. They can read, they can sleep, they can do crossword puzzle, play cards, whatever they want to do while they're in here with each other. We try not to have too much activity, but like I said, they're able to talk and communicate and the other. But this is where, if that's where we're going to go to a fire, this is the O2 that's actually in here. Now, anytime the seal breaks, and like I said, we don't see they're sleeping on it and it comes apart, then our O2 levels will rise in here, and we'll get a warning outside of the console saying your O2 level's coming up. This is actually our feed to feed our monitor out there, saying, hey, our O2 levels are getting up to 23, 24, 25, 26. Anything over 24, we start doing an extra vent. We start saying, hey, check all your fittings, you're running too high, and we try to still maintain that below by ventilating. We'll put fresh air in, blowing the higher oxygen content out.
So there's a technician that sits in here with the patients?
Yes. The technician sits here where Ron's at, and then we line up our patients on this side. He'll get up and adjust this hood, run to that hood. When he takes them off, he takes one off, the other one off, the other one off, and he puts them back on, kind of the same type of order. Yes, he carries to him through all of it.
Does the technician also wear that?
Only towards the end, he puts on his mask, an aviator's mask, because he also has to decompress. He's been on an air dive, right. So with decompressing, we have him breathe O2 by a mask. Now the key thing with doing a mask is if he goes into a seizure himself, the mask will come off, or I'm able to control that a little easier than I could with him being on a hood assembly. So that's kind of the, but no, he has a mask assembly that he'll use if there's a fire in here. That's what we're talking about. He actually has hand lines here. He has his fire nozzles, and he can operate his deluge system in here by that pulling a pin and doing it. These are your deluge system sprinkler heads right here that are lined up on both sides.
If a fire ever started, how fast would it spread? Would it just like initially?
It depends on how much oxygen's in here. It will burn faster in here because it's under pressure. The 21% oxygen that's in our air that we breathe anyways is now at a higher level. There's more air molecules in here because we've pressurized it. So it will burn faster. Now the other thing with it burning faster, heat makes our pressure go up. So therefore, as it starts heating or burning, we're going to start going deeper and deeper. So that's another thing we have to watch as we do this. But, like I said, if we can light off or get rid of the O2, try to remove part of the triangle, and then the other is dump the water in here. Hopefully we're stopping it. You never want to try it. We'll never try this at home to see how fast we can put it out, because you probably won't get it out in the time.
Do they have documented?
There's very few cases. There's very few cases of anybody living through a fire. There's very few fires that ever happened in a multi-place. Yeah, that's the camera we watch out. These are actually two fire detectors here. They look for flame. It's a flame detector, and then from that, like I said, it sets off the fire alarm. That's what that does. But this is the hood assembly. This is the breathing. This is where the O2 comes in. The key thing is to maintain our O2 levels below 24%, and it's just by keeping a nice seal, so whatever O2 is coming in, 100% O2 is coming in, it's going right back out again through our exhaust, and it doesn't fill our environment in here. But in case of, like I said, he's got his hand lines here. He's got two hand lines, one on right and the left side, and then the deluge system he can also operate.
And he can just lift that up
and
squirt
the fire. Yep. Squirt the patients first so they can get wet so they don't burn. No, but it is to control the fire, yes. What other questions are there in here? Communications, we're on headset with him. We got overhead comms. We have a sound-powered phone in here for backup. We actually have a telephone in
so
this
is
other
just
chamber.
For the technician, right?
For the technician and outside to talk to each other. Hey, we got a little high blood pressure in here, what do we want to do? And so that it's not announcing to everybody type thing. He's able to talk with us. We're not having to come over the overhead, Jimmy, you're a little high, or anything like that. So
now I'm seeing the depth there. What's the deepest you go?
these chambers here are 220.
Okay.
The other chamber out there, the other chamber out there, 280. We have treatment tables, and we'll walk over. I got treatment tables. I'll show you because it's key to different protocols we do. But that one out there is for 280.
And now notice this is a pass through.
Yep, that's a pass through for more medications and other small items. Like I said, all we do is equalize with the chamber pressure. Open one side, open the other side as we need to. People need to come through. Like I said, we use the elevator system or the transfer lock.
Right.
And so we put a doctor down, equalize pressure, open the door, he comes in, does what he wants to, goes back into there, shuts the door, we bring it back to the surface. We can also do it through here. If we do a longer treatment, we'll change out care providers. So we'll have our care provider and our patient in there doing a treatment. Once we want to get that care provider out, we'll send a care provider in here, equalize, he'll walk over, get a good handover, step back over here, he relaxes, decompresses on O2, bring him back to the surface while the guy hangs out another few hours.
Usually how long does that?
The protocols, let me go show them to you. That I think will answer your question there.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I guess the depth and length of time is always going to depend on
What
if it's a diver, if
what
it's
the treatment is.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, and what we're talking about on here in the fire is, like I said, that's why we minimize any batteries, cameras, any heat objects in here, electricity and everything else. We minimize what comes in here, oil from the street shoes or anything else, clothing that can burn. We minimize that so that we don't have, we lower that risk. And so, and like I said, each patient